Welcome once again to week 2, and the topic today is sleep. It's interesting as I'm recording this because, in all honesty, I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning and after 5 hours sleep, couldn't get back to sleep, continued doing stuff, and had to have a nap at 10 in the morning for 1 hour. And I've thought about this a lot, and I'm someone that used to sleep really well, and in the last 3 to 5 years, my sleep has really gone downhill. I've got sleep apnea, so I have to wear a machine at night. That improved initially, and then it's continued to reduce in quality. I find for me, I have quite an active nervous system, so little bits of stress that get caught in my system prevent me from sleeping well. And I sometimes think, who am I to speak about sleep when mine's not good? But then I realized, in all honesty, do you want the person who sleeps naturally well to be giving you advice or sharing their wisdom? Or do you want the person that struggles with it and has to do everything, ideally exploring all of the things, to then be able to share that with you? And I think the answer is the latter, but maybe I'm biased. So some of the key things that I've found that really help sleep is avoiding food within 3 hours of sleep. So that's a really critical one for me. If I eat anything after that, it 100% impacts my sleep quality every time. Now, I like to get objective with it, so I wear a smartwatch that tracks my deep sleep and my heart rate variability. Totally not needed, but I'm someone that can actually look at that and go, interesting, this happened because of that, let's try something else. I don't really get too hung up on where it's at. If you're someone that gets obsessed about numbers, just stay away from that. But if you can look at it and see it for the useful metric it can be, it might be worth doing. So not eating too close to bedtime, really key. On the other side of that, going to bed hungry also detriments one's sleep. So having some sort of protein fat combination. There was a time where I had to have 1 to 2 eggs within half an hour of sleep to keep me asleep throughout the night. So that can really go one of either ways, and you really want to listen to your body and try and see what's going to improve your sleep. The other low-hanging fruit is blood sugar regulation. And this one can really go under the radar for a lot of people, especially when we have desserts at night. So I've noticed for me, if I have high carb or high sugar content, the blood sugar spikes, and then around 2 to 3 a.m. my blood sugar drops, cortisol goes up, and I wake up around 2 to 3 a.m. then impacting the rest of the quality of sleep and creating a bit of a negative feedback loop, because obviously when you have less sleep the next day, you're more prone to go for the comfort food, the sugar, overeating, etc. And there's physiological changes that literally downregulate your system and its ability to feel satiated through ghrelin, etc. Got a little bit in the weeds there, so let's bring it back. One of the key things I've found to really get your sleep in check is getting a consistent evening routine and morning routine. Getting your body used to going to bed at a similar sleep time and wake time will bring so many of the other areas of your life into balance, and that's why sleep is brought first this week. So if there's anything you can take away from this at all, it would be try and optimize your sleep time to be consistent, and so with your wake time. And if you're someone that's in a state of oversleeping chronically in the morning, what you want to do is actually just get up at the right time, which would set you up. Because what I've fallen into a trap of before is wanting to get up at a time that I desire and going, well, I'm just going to try and go to bed at the right time. And of course, I'm not tired. I stay up 4 hours later, and then I can't get up in the morning. And then that cycle repeats until I'm like, okay, I just need to get up in the morning, even though it feels really uncomfortable. And I've experienced discomfort to the point that there's like pains in the body where I've literally thought, this can't be healthy. I should do it for my health to go back to sleep. Which is where it can be really useful having an external motivation to kind of a job or whatever it may be, some sort of commitment that gets you up and moving. Now, I'm going to just speak quickly about certainty and morning, because that's really key. If you get up and you're not sure what to do, most likely you're going to go back to bed. So that's where a morning routine can be really beneficial. And even if that's just get up, have some water, go for a walk, and then maybe do some movement, breathing, whatever you like, that's really going to set you up. But we can go deeper into that another time. So on the flip side, an evening routine. The preferred way I've set up my evening routine in the past was to have, say, 7 to 8:30, doing a bit of stretching, listening to an audiobook around 8:30, getting an Epsom salt bath, nice and hot, then finishing off with a cold shower, then a bit of brushing, flossing teeth, getting into bed and then reading until I'm just starting to fall asleep, and then basically lights out, 10:30, perfect sleep. Now, I can't recommend supplements or anything, but a lot of people are deficient in magnesium, and a really common form to take is magnesium biglycinate. What I've found to be problematic for me is magnesium oxide, which is in a lot of the common cheap magnesiums, but that has a really low bioavailability. It's something I've found that has improved my sleep, taking this biglycinate form about half an hour to an hour before bed, but taking it every day sometimes has diminishing results and can actually impact sleep negatively. So what I've found is taking it as needed, not all the time. Now, obviously we know so much about not using our phone and technology before bed. And I think that's said enough that everyone knows that. I still do that from time to time, but what I do find is key more than anything is slowing your momentum prior to sleep and having your digestion not working too hard, but also having that blood sugar regulation throughout the night. So that was what I want to leave you with today. There's some actions to take a bit further on in this content drop, and let me know in the community how you go. So 2 more things I just want to add in quickly. The impact of stress levels and the impact of our sleep environment. So stress levels I find really are critical, and that comes into the momentum side of things. But basically, just recently, when you internalize stress, so when your stress levels get to a high degree that your system becomes tense and stress keeps occurring, it becomes internalized and your nervous system becomes tight. As you go to sleep, that tension in your nervous system stops you getting into the most deep and restful and restorative phases of sleep, and decreases your quality and duration of sleep. So what I do to remedy this is I usually do a meditation for about 10 to 30 minutes prior to sleep. And last night, for example, as I was meditating and I was getting to a deep state, I had like a jolt awake. Now, I should have read that cue and actually continued meditating until I was in a more Zen state, but I didn't. And what happened? I woke up at 1:50 a.m. because I got to that deep sleep and was like, boom, awake. Went to go back to sleep, woke up at 3 a.m, couldn't get back to sleep. So in addition to that, I had a little bit of caffeine yesterday, and I'm someone that's really sensitive to it, so that also factors in here. But it was a stressful day as well, so that also internalized the stress. So the other aspect is the sleep environment. And again, I'm a really sensitive person to all of these inputs. So basically, light, temperature, and sound are your 3 key things to think about here. So for me, if it's too hot, sleep quality out the window. I'm better on the too cold side. If there's light coming in the morning, awake straight away. Sound, I'm all right with. I live on a main road, but even still, if people wake up during the night, it wakes me up. So for me, if I can have air conditioning on at 23 degrees, perfect. If I can have blackout curtains, great. If I can have noise cancelling headphones on if people are around, or earbuds, good, but in just a quiet environment, that works too. So just wanted to round out the conversation here and make sure I included everything.